I wanted to talk today, real quick, about some things that's going on in the beauty industry that I want to make you aware of. Some things good, and some things are alarming. Hey, welcome to the Bajo channel. Welcome to another video. This is the home of self-care, wellness, beauty, and any and everything that'll help you to become the best version of you. Please forgive my voice this morning because I am recently getting over an ear infection. And I didn't know that an ear infection could knock you all the way out. So if I look a little drab, if my voice sound a little hoarse, I'm going through my process. But I wanted to talk today real quick about some things that's going on in the beauty industry that I want to make you aware of. Some things good and some things are alarming. I'm going to start the conversation by saying this. Back in the day, right, it was a rule that you just didn't let everybody style your hair or just put their hands in your head. Like, it was something that, it was like an unspoken rule. I don't know if this was just something that our foreparents it was just something sacred. When someone put their hand in your hair, it was a sacred space. They're touching you. And so because of that, they just, you don't let anybody touch you. It would be just like that. But anyway, fast forward, the world is not so much like that anymore. It's like you go wherever you want to go and you do whatever you want to do, and you could have 10 hairstylists if you want to. But I understand why our foreparents were more particular with who they allowed to be in their hair. Because what happens is when things go wrong with your hair, and it can, for various reasons. Number one, you have a very hard time pinpointing what went wrong when you got 10 or 20 stylists. A lot of times, too, you have to be careful who you are allowing in your head or on your head or just touching you in general, because there is a certain thing as energy, right? We transfer energy. It's just the way we are. We're humans. We transfer energy. When I walk in a room, if I'm feeling sad or if I'm feeling happy, you're going to feel that energy when I walk in that room, whatever it is going on with me. Same thing with a stylist. When you go into a salon and you allow someone to touch you and style your hair, there is a transference of energy, and you want to make sure that you are in a place or an environment that you feel positive vibes, you feel positive energy, and you just have an overall good feeling about where you are, because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position, right? You're going to be touched, styled up, and it's a lot that goes on in the midst of that. So I say this to say, I understand why our foreparents, they just were very particular about who touched their hair. Now, I laid that out as a preface for this conversation. So in the beauty industry, you have different types of salons. Some salons, they'll specialize in braiding. That's all they do is braiding. You have some salons, all they do is locks. You have other salons, all they do maybe is coloring. We call these niche salons, and they've been around forever. I think they're a little more popular. You have salons that all they do is shampoo, roller set, and blow dry. You have some salons that only blow dry. They don't do the roller setting. Like, they have these niche salons. Now, when I was growing up and being raised in this beauty industry, I didn't grow up I wasn't groomed in a salon that was a niche salon, meaning I was groomed in all full service salons, meaning that I was doing everything. The salons that I was in, after I received my cosmetology license at 17, I was in full service salons where they taught me how to do coloring. They taught me how to do press and curls. We were braiding. We were doing permanent waves. We were doing haircuts. And I'm grateful because I got a chance to get more well-rounded. I even was working in a salon when I was much younger with a barber. And the barber taught me how to start doing like fading and lining up and different things that I probably would have never learned had I been in niche salons. But there is a good place, there is a good reason for niche salons too, because when you go to niche salons, if that's particularly what you want, that's what they do only. So that they know what they're doing. If you're going to an all-coloring salon, you're going to feel very comfortable because that's what they do all day. But the only problem that you have with that is sometimes you want more than a color done. You want more than just a lock retwist done. You may want more than just a blow dry. So it's like it's good on one hand, but in the other hand, it's kind of limited because just clients in general want different things done at different times in their life. We change. Sometimes I wanted this, sometimes I want that. You want to be able to, people want to be versatile depending on what they're going through in their life. And so when you're in a more full service salon, you're able to do a whole lot of things to kind of, satisfy your client. Which brings me to the point of the conversation. So there is something strange going on because it's in these niche salons, it's certain salons, right? All they do is do roller sets and blowouts, right? And they do the blowout with the roller brush. They take that brush and they blow that hair real straight and voluminous, and it's beautiful, actually. However, you have to know when something is not healthy for your hair on a consistent basis. I don't care how beautiful a style is. You have to be aware of your own hair limitations. Most ethnic hair cannot take the heat of a blow dryer up and down that shaft over and over again with strong pressure and expect the hair to remain healthy. You may can do it one time in a month. You may can do it every other month and you fine. But you cannot blow that hair on that high heat every single week, every other week. First of all, ethnic hair has an issue of always being dry anyway. Secondly, ethnic hair cannot take that type of direct heat. It's a certain thing that you watch and you pay attention to all hair textures. One is going to be the porosity, one is going to be the density, and the other is going to be the texture. You can have all different types of hair textures, or you can have the same hair texture, but you have different porosity and you have different density, which now means that I can't do the same thing to this hair that I've been doing. My point is that I'm making is you have to pay attention to what's going on to your hair and know when something is weird going on. You may not be a hairstylist. You may not know every single thing that there is to know about your hair. That's why you're not a stylist. I get it. But certain things feel strange. Certain things don't feel right. And intuitively, as a client, I want you to be knowledgeable to say, I don't think that I want this done to my hair today. Even when you go to your doctor, I go to my doctor and he suggests certain things and I'd be like, nah, I don't think I want that. He's a doctor, but it's my body. That's your hairstylist, but it's your hair. And that's the beauty when you have a regular stylist. The regular stylist knows you. They're familiar with your hair texture, porosity, density. They're familiar with you. They're familiar with you in general. They're familiar with you. And so they know what's going on. They know exactly what's going on with you. So it's not going to be any guessing. It's not going to be any guessing. Stop. They know what's going on with you. So there's not going to be any guesswork as far as how to do what you need to have done to your hair. And even with a regular stylist who knows you, they're going to tell you no with a lot of things. You're going to ask for a lot of things and they're going to say, no, you can't do that. This is a good stylist now. You can't do that. Your hair can't even take that. That's what a good stylist does. And that's why it is important to establish a regular stylist. If you want to go to certain niche salons, every blue or whatever you feel like you need to do, I'm not saying not to do that. But I'm just saying you have to be very, very careful because there's certain things that go on that if you're not paying attention to, you may come out of that salon having certain things done that you didn't particularly ask for, but because you're not aware of how they operate, you just kind of sit there as if you're sitting into your regular stylist chair, and it's two different locations, two different salons. I just want you to be aware of what's good and what's not good for you in terms of your hair. If it don't feel right, it ain't right. Yeah. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. If you're getting a certain treatment or something and maybe it's something that you're feeling like, maybe I shouldn't get this. Because a good stylist is not going to force anything on you. A good stylist is going to have a conversation with you. They're going to listen to you. They're going to make suggestions. And then at the end of the day, you make the final decision. It is very important. It is very, very important to be knowledgeable about what is going on in the salons that you are visiting. I personally suggest find a regular stylist. Find a stylist that know you, that's going to learn your hair, that's not going to pull a fast one, do a little okie doke on you, and you ain't know what's going on. Listen, it's too much happening for you not to know what's going on with your own hair. This video is going to be about 3 or 4 parts. I'm just laying a foundation to the importance of having a regular stylist. It is key. Having a regular hairstylist, to me, is just as important as having a regular doctor. I don't want to go to different doctors. I really don't. Well, you got to find my charts, and I got to get a new chart started every time I go somewhere new. You don't know what you just gave me, what medication I was on last Too much. Same thing with your hairstylist. They don't know whether you had a keratin treatment or a relaxer. They don't know whether you had a permanent wave or was your hair breaking 3 months ago, and should they not put this certain type of conditioner or shampoo in your hair because your hair might be allergic. That's the beauty when you have a regular stylist. They know certain things. Like, no, you can't have this. No, that don't work good for you. Absolutely not. And that's why it's important. Pay attention. Pay attention, especially if you're not at your regular stylist. What is happening? what's going on in your hair. What is that? When someone what is that? Exactly, what is that? Don't let nobody mix something up in the back and then bring it back out to you. No, what is that exactly? Because a lot of things can be mixed up and you don't even know what's in it. Get you a regular stylist. Let them learn your hair. Let them understand your needs and your wants and your desires, your hair goals. And you work in tandem with the stylist. So even if something goes wrong, even if something goes awry, you know where to start and you know where to locate the issue if there is one. This hair stylist and client journey is a very intimate space. It really is. It's not just someone doing your hair. It's an intimate space. The stylist is touching you. Sometimes you touching the stylist. You're having conversations about different things and intimate concerns of yours, and it's a very intimate space. So it would serve you. It would do you a service to pay attention. Just pay attention and just don't be all willy-nilly anyhow all over the place with your hair. Find a regular stylist. Find a regular stylist and lock in. And even if the stylist is not 100% as far as doing it exactly the way you want, you know you could train a person to be your best stylist ever, especially if they're willing to listen and they have a certain degree of skill already. You could just kind of work with them, and if you keep going, they'll get so accustomed to your hair and so accustomed to what you need, it'd be easy. So I thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us for this video. This is part one. This is part one of a 4-part series. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you for listening. Self-care is definitely the best care, and just remember, always put yourself first. If you don't take care of yourself, no one can take care of you better than you could take care of yourself. So thank you. And later. I'll talk to you later.